What's up YouTube, it's your boy Swaggertron here, bringing you guys another deck profile, and today we're going to be looking at Heraldic Beast. So let's get started. We run triple copies of Heraldic Beast Leo. During the end phase of the turn, this card with normal summon, destroy this card. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Heraldic Beast monster from your deck to your hand, except for Leo. You only can use this effect once per turn. Basically he's the searcher of the deck. No matter how he's sent to the graveyard, whether it's by milling, discarding, detaching, he'll get his effect. It's basically like Shadow Mist. Next up we have triple Heraldic Beast Amphisbaenia. You can discard one Heraldic Beast monster, special summon this card from your hand. And the second effect is once per turn you can discard one Heraldic Beast monster. This card gains 800 attack until the end phase. Basically I use him to... He basically there to help you get out your quick XYZ plays and pitch out the monsters from your hand and make XYZ plays. Most of the time you're going to want to pitch Leo so you can get a surge. And then since he was special summon, you didn't normal summon yet, so you could normal summon the monsters that you searched out with Leo and then go for an XYZ. So he's pretty cool that way. And he has his secondary effect you don't really care for, but when you try to go for game winning pushes, the 800 do come pretty fucking clutch. Next we have triple copies of Heraldic Beast Unicorn, aka Butt Stallion. If you guys know that reference, you guys are awesome. His effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one psychic type monster, XYZ monster in your graveyard. Special summon, its effects are negated, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So the two XYZs for Heraldic Beast are both psychic type monsters. It's number 8 and it's number 18. And you can use it to special summon either one of them. So it's pretty cool that way. Next up we have one Heraldic Beast Twin-Headed Eagle. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target one face of XYZ monster with no XYZ materials and two Heraldic Beast monsters in your graveyard. Attach those targets to the XYZ monster as XYZ materials. You only can use the effects of Twin-Headed Eagle once per turn. So basically he gives you the ability to reuse your XYZs, whether it be like a used up 1-1, a used up Castiel, or a used up Dweller. You just banish Eagle, pick whatever Heraldic Beast you want, attach them to that monster, and you get to reuse it. Most of the time you're going to want to use Leo as part of the monsters you choose, because when you detach from whether like the Dweller or something, when you detach Leo you just get a search off, so he's pretty cool. Eagle is really good late game. But outside of the late game, you don't really want to draw him or anything, so that's why you only need one copy. And lastly, for the Heraldic Beast monsters, you run triple Heraldic Beast Abercrombie. I don't know why this motherfucker is dragon. I thought he would be like a wing beast or something, but... if this card is in your graveyard, you could banish one other Heraldic Beast Abercrombie from your graveyard to target one Heraldic Beast monster in your graveyard. Add the target to your hand, you only can use this effect once per turn. Most of the time, I'm going to use his effect if I have Amphisbaenia in my hand, because what I would do is add Leo to my hand with Abercrombie and then pitch Leo to special summon Amphisbaenia and then get the whole searching and XYZ process going. When I get that search from Leo though, I like to go for the third Abercrombie just so it can set up for that whole play with Amphisbaenia again. So he's pretty cool that way, to just like do a little loop like that. And then next up we have, finally for the monsters, we have two copies of Photon Thrasher. Cause I feel like you need this card, because if you, outside of Amphisbaenia, all these monsters don't really do anything, and they can't special summon themselves or anything. So Photon Thrasher just gives you like a way to give purpose to them, just like do a quick XYZ with those guys. For spells, we want triple Upstart Goblin. I hate the card with a passion, but we can't play anything like Upstart. I mean, we can't play anything like Power Duality, because this deck special summons up the wazoo like almost every turn, so it's better if you just use Upstart Goblin. Next up, we have two copies of Forbidden Lands, because bottomless and sometimes Mirror Force can be annoying, so Lancer just to help with that. For the Heraldic Beast spell cards, we have two copies of Heraldic Beast Reborn. It's basically a monster born for Heraldic Beast. It's pretty cool. You can do like some cool XYZ plays. Like if you have like a regular, like something like Iron Convoy or Unicorn in your hand, and they're like dead and like you just can't discard them or anything, you could just normal summon and use Heraldic Reborn, bring back like a Leo or something, just overlay with them. So it's helpful for stuff like that. And then next up, the most busted card in this entire deck, Advanced Heraldic Art. This thing is fucking amazing. It's always a 1-card Exceed. I'm not even joking. Target 2 Heraldic Beast monsters in your graveyard. Special summon both those targets. Immediately after this card resolves, XYZ summon 1 XYZ monster using those 2 monsters. It is fucking phenomenal because there is no clause to the amount of these that you can activate. So essentially you could just spam a bunch of XYZs using these cards. You could literally activate 3 of them if you wish at one turn. That's how fucking busted it is. Now for the Heraldic Beast field spell. This card is an OCG exclusive, and I forgot to mention, Amethyst Beam is also an OCG exclusive. The field spell is effective is Psychic type XYZ monsters on the field cannot be targeted by spell or traps. So basically it helps these 2 guys right here be safe from things like Phoenix Chain, Breakthrough Skill, Compulse, Deep Prison, Book of Moon, Damage Step Lances, all that stuff. And then for a second effect, you could discard 1 Heraldic Beast monsters to add 1 Heraldry spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Except for Augmentation, you cannot normal or special summon any monster during the turn you activate this effect except for Psychic XYZ monsters and Heraldic Beast monsters. So basically, most of the time you'll pitch Leo, or if any other monster if you're desperate. Most of the time you're gonna pitch Leo, and then you'll get any of these 2, either Heraldic Reborn or Advanced Heraldic Art. But keep in mind about that second clause because it can fuck you in the ass if you are not careful with it. Because if you activate this effect, you can only go for these 2 guys for your XYZs. You can't special summon your Thrasher. You cannot special summon any of your other XYZs. You can't special summon Nodin. You can't do any of that. So you gotta be careful when you activate that searching effect. And then we run 1 copy of Terraforming to search out our field spell. Next up we run 2 copies of Instant Fusion, basically to get out Nodin and just use Nodin to make a quick 1-card XYZ. That's basically all the purpose of Instant Fusion. And then for the final 2 spells we have 1 Book of Moon, because Book of Moon's amazing, and Foolish Burial because almost all your monsters like to be in the graveyard, so just send whatever you need at the moment to the grave. Most of the time you're going to send probably something like Leo or Twin-Headed Eagle. Now for the traps we have the Big 4, Bottomless, Torrential, Compulsive Solemn Warning, and then 2 cards that are really fucking amazing in this deck. Mind Over Matter. What this card does, in case you guys don't know what it does, tribute 1 Psychic type monster. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's mostly gonna be this guy. Negate the activation of a spell or trap or the normal or special summon of a monster and destroy that card. This thing is basically I want to say Solemn Judgment. Basically Solemn Judgment, all you have to do is tribute a Psychic XYZ monster, again mostly this guy, and it's almost impossible for this card to be dead just for the simple fact that your unicorns can bring back your Psychic XYZs and then you could just use them as tribute material to activate this card. So that's what I think is really good in this deck. And then to round up the deck we have 2 Phoenix Chains because Dark Law fucks this deck up a lot. I think I might change Phoenix Chain to Breakthrough Skill, but I'm not entirely sure at the moment. For the extra deck, 2 Elder God Notice to complement the Instant Fusions. The Heraldic Beast XYZ boss monster right here. Honestly, my favorite card to make most of the time. Number 8, Heraldic King Genome Heritage. To make this guy, you need 2 level 4 Heraldic Beast monsters. Once per turn, you can target 1 XYZ monster your opponent controls. This card gains the original attack of that monster's. It gains the original attack of that monster, and it gains the name. And this card effect becomes that monster's original effect. Then that monster's attack becomes 0, and its effects are negated. These changes last into the end phase. This thing is amazing just for simple fact you copy things like Dracosack, Felgrand, 101, Castiel, all those things. It's just freaking amazing. And the fact that you can make them 0 and just run things over like nothing is freaking great. You could even, if your opponent only has like 2,000 life points and they have something like, I don't know, 101, you could just copy 101, drain him to like 0 and just run it over for game. It's just so funny and trolly to use this card sometimes. But remember, most of the time you do not want to use Unicorn to bring him back because he's only useful if he has the ability to use his effects. And since Unicorn negates his effects, it's kind of pointless to bring him back sometimes. Unless you want a 2400 beast stick, and then at that point, by all means. Next up for another Heraldic Beast OCG exclusive, number 18, Heraldic Beast Plaincoat. His effect is, during each play turn, if there are 2 or more monsters on the field with the same name, you can attach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 of those monsters, destroy all other monsters on the field with the same name as that target. Okay. People on DevPro do not fucking read that effect. When this guy is on the field, like they go tour guide, activate tour guide's effect, special summon another tour guide, and then I'll just chain this guy, just pop one of those tour guides, and they're just like, what the hell just happened? So yeah, if you guys ever see this monster, please read the fucking effect. And now for his second effect, if this face-up card on the field, wait, I'm messing up. If this card is face on your field, your opponent, you can, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 2 Heraldic Beast monsters from your deck to your graveyard. Basically, he's a built-in Fool's Burial ×2, which is really fucking good because most of your Heraldic Beast monsters need to be in the graveyard to like get the deck rolling. And that's why he's really great with Mind Over Matter, because Mind Over Matter will tribute him and then activates effects to send 2 things to the grave. So it's just perfect with Mind Over Matter and this guy. And for the rest of the extra deck, you have Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Okay, this thing is fucking amazing. In case you guys don't know what it does, I believe this card comes out in the next set after Duelist Alliance for the TCG. You could attach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Half that monster's attack, and if you do, this card gains the same amount of attack. This thing is phenomenal if you're going against things that are like not special summon that 1-to-1 can't take or stuff like that. Or if you just want like a big beast stick to help get over this giant beast stick that your opponent just can't deal with sometimes. And this thing is phenomenal Heraldic Beast because combined with Twin-Headed Eagle, you could use his effect twice per turn because there's no clause saying that you can't do that. So he's freaking beefy. You see my showcase, I brought this motherfucker up to 7,000 using Twin-Headed Eagle on like a skull server that was like 5,000. So he's pretty fucking cool, and you could do like some crazy OTKs with this guy. For the rest of the guys, we have Ragnar Zero, Giant Hand, Black Ship, 1 copy 1-to-1, surprisingly only 1 copy this time. Castiel, Ass Blaster over here, Cowboy, Chidori. One of the decks I'm so happy that you can make Chidori with because there's like 3 monsters that are wind. You have Abercrombie, Amphisbenia, and Twin-Headed Eagle. And surprisingly, I make this guy in almost every duel. 1 Exciting Knight and 1 Dweller. Dweller is also fucking amazing in this deck thanks to Twin-Headed Eagle. This thing will make Cosmic Dragons cry because you can use this guy like up to 4 turns thanks to Eagle. It's fucking busted. For the side deck, these are like cards you could just consider in case you like want to change things around. Number 80 and number no, I thought this guy's a number. Steel Swarm Roach, and number 80 are cards I like. I just couldn't find room. If you guys want to like swap around something like Ragnar Zero or something for them, feel free to. You also could try out Kage to Kage instead of Photon Thrasher if you think Photon Thrasher doesn't really work out for you. And then you can also try out Berry from a Different Dimension. With this card you can select up to 3 remove from play monsters and return them to the owner's graveyard. So it helps you reuse things like your Eagle, Unicorn, Abercrombie. It's pretty good. I personally might try it out if I decide to do this deck again. I'm not sure what I would take out, but I definitely think I'll try this out. It's pretty good. Overall thoughts. Personally, when I play this deck, I honestly have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I like wing it most of the time. But the fact that you could do like so many XYZ plays, thanks to things like advanced heraldry art, your monster borns with heraldry born and Nodin, and just the loops that you could do with Abercrombie and Leo and Amphisbenia. It's just so many things, and the ability to swarm with a recurring 2200 or 2400 beater thanks to Unicorn. Like, this deck could just also OTK out of nowhere. But there are a lot of times where the hands are just like so iffy, because sometimes you draw into too many spells that really can't work without getting to your monsters first, or you get like too many monsters that requires this needs to be in the graveyard, but you have no way to send them to the graveyard, so you're kind of screwed and just have to stall out. So like little instances like that. But overall, I think the deck is fun. I don't know if it'll be competitive, but it's definitely fun. I would recommend trying it for that reason alone. Well guys, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and do all that jazz, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.